Partnerships for Profit, the podcast where we bring you inside the world of joint ventures, strategic partnerships, and powerful collaborations. Whether you're looking to expand your network, find new referral partners, or scale your business, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
Welcome to Partnerships for Profit. Today we are joined by Bettina Altizer, who is a founder, owner, and president of Altizer Law PC, a world champion powerlifter, and a high-performance trial lawyer. Bettina, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor.
It's an honor having you here. Now, can you start off? Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about Altizer Law?
Sure. I'm the owner of Altizer Law, as you said, and I'm a personal injury medical malpractice firm in Roanoke, Virginia, which is in Southwest Virginia. And been doing this for a long, long time, many decades, despite my youthful appearance. And just happy to be in the practice of law and honing my skills and becoming the best trial lawyer and human I can possibly be. So my career is dedicated to both, and they're both synergistic together, which is lawyer, human. So you develop your human skills, you develop your lawyer skills. And so in the twilight of my career, I'm really focusing now on helping others and helping other trial lawyers be better humans and better trial lawyers. So I'm enjoying that tremendously in this part of my career, being a practicing lawyer.
And what do you think helped you develop that synergistic approach to your life and to your career?
You know, I was ironically thinking about coming onto your show and how can I offer some things to your listeners and watchers. And it's hard to dissect what you've done for so many years and how things have become a part of you and where did they come from? Where are the roots? But one thing I have to say is that I've always cared about being excellent at whatever I do, whether it's being a trial lawyer or cleaning a toilet or, mowing the lawn. As you know, I'm a retired powerlifter. I lifted heavy things for a long time and cared about being excellent in that. And excellence is, I hope people are still caring about that. I think a lot of us do still, but if you are taking on any task and you want to do an excellent job and that's your intended outcome, then more likely than not, you will do an excellent job. If you don't have that awareness and that mindset going into a project, no matter what it is, writing a letter, I don't care what it is, going into a board meeting, going into a deposition for me, meeting with a client, and you just want to be your excellent best self, and always have that in the forefront of your intention. Gosh darn, that raises your probability of performing at a high level. So that's a thing. It's many things, I think, if you had to dissect me as a human. But I think that's a big deal. I cared about achievement and doing a great job no matter what.
And I'd love to dive into that a little bit further because I'm curious, can you define just a little bit further for our listeners what excellence means to you? Because not everybody may have the same definition of excellence, right?
True. I mean, excellence is based on your skill set, based on what resources you have, internal resources and external resources. And so mastering all that is around you and all that you are as a human at that given moment in time, and doing the very, very best, bringing those resources to bear is excellence. Now, my excellence in walking out on the tennis court is not going to be the same excellence as a Serena Williams. So you have different skill sets. But gosh darn it, I said that twice now. At least I'm not cussing. But when you come out onto the tennis court, Bettina's going to bring a certain skill set. and I'm going to do the very best I can possibly do. Serena's going to whip my behind, but what do I do and what do I have in my resources? So, and then if you have a job to do that calls for skills or a different skill set that you have, then your point of excellence is, what do I need out there to get? Who do I need out there to help me? What do I need to learn to do the best job that I can do?
Right.
And sometimes excellence is not for me.
Right.
I'm not the right attorney for you. You need to go somewhere else because I'm not going to be able to provide that level of service in honoring you. So it's the wisdom of knowing what your skill set is, your strengths, weaknesses, and all those kind of things that we hear a lot about, but having the wisdom to say, no, maybe it's someone else that you need help from.
Right. And when clients come to Altizer Law, what are some of the problems and pain points that they are experiencing that you're helping them solve?
Very good question. So my clients have been suffered injury by the wrongdoing of another. And so I'm very mindful of that. My job is, sounds corny, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm kind of a holistic kind of gal anyway, but I apply holistic law to them. I see myself as a healer where I can be, a healer of emotion, healer of energy, a healer of, if I can provide some wisdom with regard to the physical problems that they're having. I know a lot about the human body and about a lot of stuff based on the years of doing what I do. And so when they come to me with the problem, which is somebody hurt me and it's their fault and they should pay for it, then I'm assessing that person and their needs just globally and making sure that I can provide the best path going forward in a path that is rocky, that's full of terrain, rough terrain, because they have to get better. Right. And so I'm going to take on everything that I can take on as their professional and make their path as smooth as I can and remove the boulders that are in their way. Right.
Well, and I'm curious, can we talk a little bit about what if someone has experienced an injury and should be seeking the help and guidance of a firm like Altizer Law, but what if, they don't seek that help? What if they just keep going on about their day? What does that look like?
Yeah. That's so most cases, and I can say in the high 90s in a personal injury setting, it's best to get a lawyer. It just is, whether it's me or anybody else, it doesn't matter. It's best to get a lawyer. It's the terrain that I mentioned, the path, is designed by others, and it's designed by adjusters. It's designed by big corporations. And for the individual that is trying to navigate that, it is usually beyond their skill set. And I in my many years of practice and many years of representing many thousands of people, I haven't run across maybe a handful of people that could really have the skill set to navigate that terrain. So
right.
It's just set up for the professional. So if that person is thinking about, well, I want to save attorney's fees, and that's usually what it is, and that is a reasonable thought. I don't disagree with that thinking. It's like, geez, I got to give Altizer, a percentage of the fee, and I understand that is an important factor. But if you're going to the right professional, they will assess the case, and if they cannot add value, meaning that they can't get you what you deserve in the context of how you've been damaged and making you as whole as we can, then they should tell you that. And that's a good question to ask them. Are you going to provide me extra value here? And then why not? Right. Why not? Or why can you? That's a better question. Why can you provide extra value if the answer is yes? So I just had a client yesterday. I could not add value to her case. She had one, office visit. She had sort of planned to go to other doctors. I said, well, until you do that, until you get additional treatment, I can't help you. I'm not going to add value. So I didn't
Right.
take the case. And I told her that. And I told her why. So that rely on your professional and ask that good question. Are you going to be able to add value to my case?
Absolutely. Now, I'm very interested in this, and I hope you're willing to share with this.
Sure.
You're someone, you decided at age 3 that you wanted to be a lawyer. What inspired that decision at such an early age, and what caused you to stick with that decision all the years later?
Boy, that's a kind of a loaded question because that's going to get a little woo woo on you. And I'm woo woo. I can go there. So 3 years old, and I swear to God that that's the truth. At age 3, I said I just want to be a lawyer, and it never ever changed. I mean, through my formative years in high school and all that kind of stuff, everything was geared toward getting into a good university, getting into a good law school. Never wavered. So my dad was a lawyer, and I will suggest that had really nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't. I knew it. It's like a savant that can just play the piano, and who taught them? Nobody. It just was them, and they came prepackaged that way. And there's the woo-woo part. I think I came prepackaged that way. That I knew I was going to enter into this calling of helping people in the context of law. So we all are helping people. You're helping people. I'm helping. It's just different contexts, different frames. Right. So I came prepackaged. Now, my dad really didn't encourage me, or sometimes he discouraged me, frankly. What the heck are you thinking? You need to go to med school. Anyway, I just think it's weird, and for me to even have that plan and that path. I mean, there's not too many people that do that. But anyway, that's just me.
So that desire and drive to help others was really just something that was innate to your character from a young age. It wasn't something that was cultivated along the way.
Ooh, boy, that's going to make me think on that. I think naturally I cared about others around me, and I didn't like the disempowerment of some that were around me. Didn't like that. I can remember a distinct memory when I was in probably first or second grade, where I helped this young kid who was in the special class. We didn't have the label, the politically correct labels there that we have today when I went to school. And I helped that child out. I was a child, same age, and in the context of a sports activity. And I wanted him on my team because others were picking on him. And I just didn't like that. So I rallied the troops. I was always a great athlete and, person like that. And I rallied the troops and him and his fellow classmates, and we beat them. We beat the other team who were not the special kids,
Right.
And I just remember that and loving the fighting for the people that needed to be fought for. So yes, I think that was in me and cultivated throughout the years, of course.
Right.
Confirmation bias. You're biased one way, and you start picking and attracting those things that support what you want, law, who you are, your identity, and those kind of things. So anyway.
Well, you said, you were always a great athlete. I think that's a bit of an understatement given your powerlifting career. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So I was a tennis player before powerlifting, and I was a decent tennis player. But powerlifting, I started in when I was at the University of Virginia, and I had a friend of mine in the weight room. I trained with my best friend who was on the volleyball team at UVA, and this big dude, he was size of a mountain, took an interest in me. And you can't see me, but I'm really short. I'm short. I'm like 5 foot. I like to say 1, but I don't think I get to 1. But I'm in that ballpark. So I'm short. I got little short biceps, short muscles. And this kid, this big guy, took an interest in me and said, "You should train here." So he started to train me a little bit. And I was strong right from the get-go. And then I landed over at the head strength coach at University of Virginia, John Gamble, who was a world champion powerlifter himself. And he started to train me. And I took my first meet, broke state records. It was a state championship, won the state championship, broke three out of the 4 records. And my ego was hooked after that. I have to say, his ego was hooked. And third meet out, became a national collegiate champion. And I just continued. I continued through law school. I continued competing when I became a lawyer and worked for a big fancy firm in Columbus, Ohio, and then eventually became a world champion in a sport that is dominated by folks that use performance enhancing things.
Right.
But I did not. But I became a world champion, and that's hard to do. It's hard to compete in an arena in which you're at a deficit because you don't take the drugs. But gosh darn it, I beat the Russian and the Belgian and the whatevers, and I think I was the Russian's only loss in her career until she retired. But anyway, so that took a long time and a long investment of energy. I competed for over 20 years.
Wow.
You can believe it, into my 40s. And anyway, it was a long, beautiful, wonderful career. USA Powerlifting is an awesome organization, and was blessed to have a lot of success in that sport and lots of assistance, lots of good coaching. And then it's just, it's a hard sport. I'm just going to tell you, and then be a lawyer too. Forget
Right.
that part. That's really challenging. So I had no life. I just had no life for a while, for 20 years. Because to be at that level, you can't do much else. You just can't do much else.
Right. Absolutely.
So, but it's dedication and what you want and what you're willing to sacrifice. And it's part of what we make. I think one of your title is World Champion Mindset.
That's it.
It is the champion mindset for sure.
Well, that leads perfectly into what my next question was going to be, was you were talking about that dedication. And I was curious, what sort of lessons and values did that powerlifting career instill in you that you were able to walk into the courtroom with?
It's both. It's how training as a lawyer helped also the powerlifting. They're synergistic. So when you think about competitiveness and the desire to win and what it takes to get to that point, it is very similar spirit. I even say mindset. The mind is limited. So it really becomes heart-centered, soul-centered, spirit-centered.
Right.
And what you're willing to sacrifice. So one of the things I learned over the years is one of the common threads of successful people is what their degree of suspending or delaying gratification. So we are a dopamine addicted country and globe. We're all about the dopamine. We're all about the immediate gratification. But champions, they're willing to wait. And they're willing to grind it out. And they're willing to do the extra set. And they're willing to, and you can't see my office so much, but, well, you can right here. They're willing to sit in when everybody goes home at the office and pull out a book and read. And how do I develop my skill set as a lawyer? How do I become a better communicator? So how do I stay in the gym? How do I train 6 days a week, which is what I did when I competed? and do that extra set. When my gym was 45 degrees, okay, fine, put a cap on, put the, extra couple layers of t-shirts on, let's get to work.
Right.
So, it's the willingness to sacrifice. It's the willingness to delay gratification. It's the idea that it's not the idea, it's a good relationship with pain. Be frankly honest. It is, what is your relationship with pain? If you're just a pleasure seeker, it's going to be hard to succeed.
Right.
It's when everybody else is around you, going home and eating a nice dinner and relaxing. What are you doing here at the office to get better?
Right.
Are you going out drinking all the time? I never did drink. I never did drugs. Never did any of that stuff because I knew that would hurt me in my athletics.
Right.
Never had a sip of alcohol my entire life. I think I'm the only person left on the planet that way. but I knew that alcohol, I'm not picking on alcohol per se, but just using it as an example.
Sure.
It kills brain cells. I learned that when I was yay big. And I thought, I needed all my brain cells. I don't want to kill anybody up there. Right?
Right.
So I just made a decision that was not something that I wanted to do because I wanted to be a great lawyer.
Right.
And I wanted to be a great athlete. So that was detrimental to both of those two objectives.
Absolutely.
Just as an example. But so I think I was also thinking about, I was getting my hair done before I popped on today because the ladies' roots are very important. So my hairdresser out of the blue said, "You know what your secret is, Bettina?" She's known me for decades. She says, you're willing to go the extra mile. And she's also a minister. And she says, well, that's in the Bible. And I didn't know that. But willing to go the extra mile, doing what it takes is a champion mindset.
Right.
You can always see like Patrick Mahomes. I think he's an amazing athlete. I'm not a Chiefs fan, but he does the grind like no other that I've seen. Air Jordan did too.
Yep.
But just thinking about recent athletes,
right.
He finds a way. Now, sometimes they still lose, fine, but he is always, always, always looking for the opportunity, willing to grind it out, willing to run, willing to get tackled. Yeah. And so what are you doing in your business to do that? What is your extra mile?
Right.
Are you willing to give up, Yeah. And it's not necessarily giving up. It is the idea of being embracing what needs to be done.
Right.
And being okay with it.
Absolutely. You're speaking my language. I'm here in Kansas City right now. I'm a Kansas City guy, so
you know
go
that?
Holmes.
Holy gosh.
Must hear this year,
but I didn't know that. Did I do that good or what? That's really impressive.
But I'm curious now. I didn't mention this, in the opening, and I should have, said this in your introduction. But you're a certified life coach as well, correct?
I am. I went through the human potential coaching certification program, and I say that because I'm a Dave Asprey fan, Bulletproof and nutritional. All about nutrition, and I've been a student of human well-being and health for many, many years. Of course, because of athletics.
Right.
Also, because I love it. I mean, I love it, and I try to help my clients, be better and supplement what the doctors don't tell them.
Right.
And so I went through that program just because I love Dave Asprey, and so Dr. Mark Atkinson is an MD, and he runs the program now. And he is phenomenal. Dr. Atkinson he's written some really awesome books, got them all on my shelf. And so I wanted to go through that program because I wanted to best serve my clients. I thought, well, what's a great way to have a coaching mentality? I already have a coaching mentality, sort of, but why not be trained as one? Right. So I did it really not to be a coach. I don't have a shingle out as lawyer and a coach. Right. But how do I learn more? How do I up my human skills to be a better lawyer and better for my clients? So it was a phenomenal program, and I still benefit. And now I'm teaching other lawyers some things that I learned from that coaching program. And then I'm working on my biohacking certification. And
that was my next question.
yeah, it's just always one of the things I jotted down when I was trying to get ready for your podcast is, are you willing to invest in self? And this is not a stagnant life here. We live in a fluid life. It's how fluid you want to be,
Right.
and how fluid you choose to be, right? And so what are you doing to up your skills on a daily basis? I study every single day. And literally, I mean that. Chase Hughes is another of one of my mentors, Dr. Atkinson and Chase Hughes. But I learn from Chase every morning. He's a behaviorist, human behaviorist, ex-military guy, awesome, phenomenal. He's no better in human behavior than him. And so, what are you doing to invest in self?
Right.
And I love the term micro-learning. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. You're getting ready for work, brushing your teeth. What are you listening to? What are you doing to feed the soul and feed your profession, feed your humanness and being a better human?
Right.
So I don't know if that answers your question. I can't even remember the question.
I'm curious. Can you further define a little bit? I mean, you touched on it a little bit there, but can you further define this notion of biohacking and what biohacking is for our listeners?
Sure. So biohacking was a term, I don't know if it was created by Dave Asprey, but he certainly made it very popular in the early 2000s. It kind of took off as a term of art, but it's really looking for ways to optimize self, nutritionally, hydration, sleep, longevity, cellular level, taking care of your mitochondria, which are your little fuel centers in your cells. How do you get the most out of life? And using all kinds of gear, so I've got the Aura Ring. Well, that's biohacking. I have red light therapy panels at my house. That's biohacking. Using gear out there that's available to us that is phenomenally growing and growing and growing as far as an industry is concerned. But how do we squeeze life? Right. And how do we feel good doing it? It's not, well, we just want to live until we're 99. Okay, great. But how do you feel when you get there? Right. And so how do we increase energy? And so that's the umbrella of biohacking is using all of the things that are out there in the world that benefit the human experience.
When you think back on your career and when you think back on all the people that you have been able to help through Altizer Law, is there a story that stands out of a client or a business that you really saw a positive transformation in as a result of your help and guidance?
There's so many of that, so many of those stories.
I know it's a big loaded question, right?
It's you go in with the intention of helping each individual. I can just tell you, it's nothing to do with personal injury, but it's always a proud moment in the sense of, so I represented a sergeant who, a police sergeant, and he was mistreated at work and he was demoted and took his stripes away from him. And he had been in law enforcement for 30 some years and went to this other jurisdiction, smaller jurisdiction, and got into a rub with the chief of police there. And so he demoted him for no reason. And we had a process of fighting this demotion. And short story is that I had to cross-examine the chief of police, and I can still remember it to this day, and made him turn really red, bright red. But the end of the story is that we got his stripes back, and that huge giant police officer, 30 years, cried And
Wow.
it was, I say that, I can say many other stories, but we look after our law enforcement, we look after the people that protect us. And it was just an opportunity for me to go against a chief of police, which takes some courage in and of itself, right? So little Bettina going against, big giant chief of police there, and his stature. He was ginormous, man, and making him turn red because I caught him, and to get the stripes back. So I can tell you bunches of stories, tons of injured people that, I've gotten them a way to restore some of their life back, of which was taken from them. I remember, just recently, helping this family buy a house with the money of the proceeds, supporting them, and they are so happy. And despite a terrible situation causing this man's injuries, it's a medical malpractice case, where they're finding joy in life. And I stay in touch with them, and it's just wonderful. So it gives me joy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Bettina, thank you so much for joining us today. If anybody out there listening could use your help and guidance, could use the help of Altizer Law, where can people find you?
Sure. Always happy to help. I mean, just the law, finding you don't have a law problem, but I love helping folks. So need some guidance on that way, and using my little wisdom there. Altizerlaw.com, certainly. baltizer@altizerlaw.com is my email. And you can always call me at 540-345-2000. So you can find me easy. Say Bettina Lawyer, and you'll be able to find me.
Well, Bettina, thank you so much again for joining us today. This has been incredible.
Most welcome. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm honored.
And thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been Partnerships for Profit, presented by LeDuc Entertainment. Bettina, thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Partnerships for Profit. We hope you've gained valuable insights on how to form profitable partnerships and take your business to the next level. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. Got a partnership story to share or someone you'd like to see featured on the show? Reach out to us. Until next time, keep building those partnerships for profit.